WETA's Around Town is presented by the Annenberg Foundation in support of the WETA Program Trust.
Hello, I'm Robert Aubrey Davis, and I'm joined by Jane Horowitz and Trey Graham. Well, Studio Theater is continuing to highlight works by playwright Neil LaBute with This Is How It Goes. It's a story following three friends who confront taboos and unspoken prejudices surrounding the issue of interracial relationships. Trey, sometimes these messages are telegraphed to you with Neil's work, which I generally love. Did this one work for you? Did all the pieces come together?
Not as well as some of his other plays. In Fat Pig, which Studio did last season, it was a similarly complicated situation about relationships and prejudices and unspoken, biases. But it worked because it was rather gentle, and you got to know the characters, and when they disappointed you, they broke your heart. Not so here. You don't get to know these characters, and eventually you really just ultimately don't care much about them.
It just doesn't engender much emotional involvement either on the part of the actors working up there with the lines they've got and the audience. It just doesn't catch fire very much.
You have a high school couple,
right?
The guy,
a couple who are married, an interracial couple met in high school, and the third character, who is white, who was in love with the girl in high school.
Moves into the house, basically.
Right. He rents an apartment above their garage. They're very well off. He's out of work, but he introduces himself in the beginning, and he says, I may turn out to be an unreliable narrator, and he does, but I'm not quite sure to what effect, except he's sort of a Rashomon element to the play.
Yeah, there's some of that, but because he's such an unreliable narrator, eventually you can't believe anything that happens on stage, so about 3/4 of the way through, I just checked out. I didn't care anymore. We should probably say that the performance is pretty strong,
yeah.
I think. The design is gorgeous. It's just, who cares?
Yeah, and that happens with Neil LaBute. Either it grabs you by the lapels really early on, or it's it seems like an exercise. And this is one of those there was a play, Spinning into Butter, that was done that was terrific on this subject.
Yeah, well, This Is How It Goes is at Studio Theater until February the 11th. Thanks so much for joining us.
Watch more Around Town reviews online at WETA.org.